Sound. Oh, great. Thank you for the record. Good. Got it.
Yeah.
So now I start the session, yes?
Well, we can. I was thinking that maybe when we do how we are, we'll do it in gibberish a little bit later on.
Later on. Okay, so let me start. So my name is Alex Sternick. I'm in the field of laughter therapy, laughter coaching, humor drama, and paradoxical coaching, where psychotherapy meets clowning, gibberish. In all this field, like 20 years. I was the founder of laughter yoga movement in Israel back in 2004. Yet I went much deeper. And I think, Yolanda, we met somewhere like 16, 17 years ago when I started to jump here with all these gibberish workshops in Israel, because I really separated the field of gibberish improvisation from laughter yoga. It was totally different. And later on, I left laughter yoga for 126%. I'm not there anymore, but I needed some encore. And I learned laughter yoga in India in 2003, and it was for me the butterfly effect event. And then I went deeper. I discovered the gibberish, and I developed it. I think also I met Roman in one of my workshops many years back.
Wait, hold. What is laughter yoga?
Laughter
Is that
yoga.
what you said? Laughter yoga?
Yeah. I started my career. My first encounter with the word of laughter was in India in 2003 through a book about laughter yoga, which is a method and which is spread out in the world. And I was very excited by it that time. And I brought it to Israel, and we had laughter clubs here in Israel. It was some time where it was here very popular. And also many people who did laughter yoga, they went into clown work. But laughter yoga, it's about how to stimulate laughter as a form of exercise, but usually it stays fake.
Right.
I believed in this years. I was teaching it. I was facilitating leaders, like training leaders, but I understood it's not my thing, because I wanted to touch my pain, play with my pain. That's Chaplin. To truly love, one should be able to take his pain and play with it. That's Chaplin, embracing all emotions on the spectrum, giving a full room. So my work now, I help people. When I work therapeutically, I help people to meet, to befriend, to play, to maximize, to meet with the discomfortable places that we have and mindsets, like to play with our shame narrative, with our guilt narrative, with our violent inside us, with the rejected part inside us, with the offensive part, and making peace with our inner enemy, to make peace with our inner struggling pieces. That's the role of the clown, actually. And I use a technique which Dr. Viktor Frankl called it paradoxical intentions. Yes, you can then Google and see what is about paradoxical intentions.
כוונות פרדוקסליות.
כוונות פרדוקסליות או היפוך ליצני, התערבויות פרדוקסליות, paradoxical interventions. I use it on stage with the protagonist on stage, whether I work one-to-one or I give a master class of 4 days. So on day 3 and day 4, people come on stage and they play, they act out, they act out their tragedy, but they clown it. They make a big caricature. They make it more big, inflated than it really is, so they can develop a distance. Distance leads to self-acceptance.
What is it that they bring? What is it that they bring onto the stage? It's
they bring their own shadow or their old belief system. They have been believing that's true. They bring their shadow. What is a shadow? It can be a story associated with shame, guilt, fear, rejection, addiction, violence, whatever, but they make it so big so it becomes caricaturized. And then the distance between me and the problem is created, and I start to laugh about it.
Right.
And then I developed the faculty of self-acceptance. We call it in Hebrew or in English, dome bedome merape, or treat the same with the same. That's the clownish appliance in therapy. Now let's go back to the gibberish, because I come from the gibberish to the humor drama and the paradoxical coaching. That we will come later to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will explain how I came to know about humor drama, because it has been developed in Germany, not by me, but by Dr. Michael Tietze, my mentor in Germany, a student of Dr.
What is the
Frankl
name?
in Vienna. Dr. Michael Tietze is the president, Tietze, T-I-T-Z-E, is the president of Humor Care Germany and Austria, which is a clown foundation, clowns in mental health. And I'm mental health oriented. My work is totally into mental health. It's not about entertainment.
Right.
And now when I was teaching in this school of Vivian Gladwell in Potsdam, and all the clowns were artistic clowns, and for them it was something new. They really wanted to see the clown work through therapy, because it's the merge of psychotherapy and clown work. But it's anarchist psychotherapy. I will come to it later. Gibberish. Gibberish is all about embracing the discomfort. It's very, very difficult to teach people to speak in a serious gibberish. It's very, very, because you know what happens when you come to gibberish, you do it so you speak so fast, so everybody else in the street, they know you speak gibberish.
Can you speak a little bit slowly?
I will speak a little bit slowly.
This is very good.
A little
Je vais
bit
te faire aussi
slower.
ASMR, tu verras, et tu fais super opéra, et c'est maintenant. So, embracing the discomfort. We always know when we feel discomfort, what is our first thing to do. I feel it's cold, what I'm doing, I put a jacket, right? And what happens when I'm hungry?
I stuff my face.
Yes. And if I'm thirsty, yeah, I drink a water, because I want to kill the fire. I want to extinguish. Listen to me, in Hebrew we call it lechabot et ha'esh, lechabot srefot. We are involved in extinguishing the fire all our life. That's the conventional mindset. And the same goes with the gibberish. When I do a short gibberish workshop, and also when I go for 4 days humor drama masterclass, which includes gibberish. When we do gibberish, people they always stuck around one word. It's very hard for them to develop, to sit within the fire, to sit next to the fire without extinguish it. It's very difficult to enjoy the discomfort. And this is the faculty I'm teaching people.
So can I just take a pause for a second, so that we can a short pause to see, maybe we can introduce ourselves and see just what happens in gibberish for a moment before.
Let's do that, and let's see how you do that. I will. Yeah, I want to.
Because we'll just play with it, with a rhythm or with an accent or whatever comes out. Lichkro, Hillary, Roman, de Flacante, de Portuguese, Isa Vezmir, de Bum Bum, de Babuzzi, de Strada, Istertan Nadavos in the Kachlapa, and the Beep Beep, the Babuskile. Alex Sternick for the Catala, perché cabale, c'è che domani c'è che con de buone, what the tisore, and the Paz Champa, she's a cota boy, yeah, English, what a pore, oh, why, just small why, she puts it, it's in the trust, teacher, Slavochka, Hramataskanin Hapatske. Secretary Hillary, Purlalatsky, Yolanda, Hillary Krus-Lafatsky, Tropotska e Ticha. Britica, Hillary, Champa e Potska. Oh, yeah.
It's Scottsdale in New York. And encodia. To fan på det questiona fardore. Quanta foto cinco foto pa. Akut van de en incionto en platiete en pancasciona vabo. Debar en ma yes en vodka carompante che cianta forno.
Forno.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't read Hebrew, so Roman. Don't know your names, the other two.
Un momento.
Introduci in the Gibberish and Davos and Champa.
Eleva, ikna Roma, Roma, pa. Ese pata na cur eleferem urverech trafalere ul culaman uresanto ma mul carabaso grazie la eberesanto la acapotable la sapur nek na frulich trachelfrach een vraag toen telefoon. Nacht. Alle poker nog nur alle terug el taz.
Yeah, sì, Nag Champa Paz, Yaroko, Frogo.
Those sisters.
Sì, Isbarelda Longos, sì. Oh, wow. Paz.
Set better the city. Bedmelt as the pity pierce. And Alex said Israeli, I tell him that's the paz. I was it passed that Israeli, That the TV really. Usted es chiri piri casa te bastara hatisti rocco. Usted but I said next pitchy but that's Sarapatash. That's the best TV. No, basically,
Much improvement. You sound a little bit like Filipino or something.
Filipino, no. I never finished it. Filipino,
Barabush.
No. That's Filipino. ما فتح الشرع بس خربوا. عشرة.
En grip not de grap. Grip not de grap. De Davos. Yalonos. De frogizos. Gratis.
Bombogula, Sha Chunu Bagala, Hoa, Li Gongolalmo, Gongolalmo, O מתמטיקה רוגונו. רוגונו.
Orogolo.
רוגולו.
Orugula. Orugula.
רוגונו, במבה רוגולו. דס ודניה.
אני בעד שפצ'ו כל הברא.
Right.
Hola para Alon.
Buenísimo.
Guau.
Perfecto, stupidito, muy stupidito, esos universidad universal idiotka. Gracias.
אידיוטקה, בלה בלה. קפוארה, מיו גלה, שונגה בבא, שובה בבא. רבה.
A lot of sounds of the wow in the dance. We each have a different language going on there. So back to you, Alex. Tell us.
Tida frexero xime hentu krachem. Ida proxifito recreativity ximens stoker se Alex Sternick in der ufgentu lital. Jager mestep sexevutistik xelexele epigenetica e positivna psychologica in der brixe fetocustik neurogenesis epigenetica. And the brixe ferkisinkel urkempente moltici schnacksempecht. So let's go back. You see, I always tell to the people, don't run to laughter when you do gibberish, because when you try always to run to the laughter, you cannot feel the serious part inside you. Because you see the clown, if we go back to the clown archetype, the clown is the only archetype who can embrace all the emotions on the spectrum, and also seriousness is one of them. Now, I want to create a gibberish that no one can guess it is gibberish. So I'm the one who runs the show, like a clown, the real fool, the joker. That's the highest, level in tarot card. He runs the show. He can laugh on everybody, on everything. So when we teach gibberish, we usually want people to use words that may sound like they found in Norwegian or Danish and Swedish. And when somebody is asked to guess, what is the language this gibberish guy speaking, they never guess. That's the beauty of, wait, we don't need to go to the blah blah and just to go out of character, but for a minute to sit next to this discomfort, the fire, to be foolish, not run away. This is something which is very, very important in my work. And also, Milan Kundera has been talking about the joy of slowness in Hebrew, hahana'a shebeitiyut. So I go into the gibberish and I enjoy sit next to the fire, in the brick Fachstücks, and there is plenty of time within time. יש המון זמן בזמן. The Prüfung für Coronavirus in der Kundevenchal. Prexem Fachtefurksem sa. Die der Wette finde schnacksche Wuntenst. Der Wette ist doch schofft die Facts. And when I ask people which language I speak, they say Danish, Norwegian, German. They are sure I'm speaking German, but they never guess gibberish because it doesn't sound like gibberish. So I always want you to see if you can perform in gibberish while being totally serious, רציני. And when we blend this seriousness and little bit of silliness, it becomes comic. Okay? הערבוב של הצחוק והרצינות is very interesting. So we don't need always to go into this laughter, into the silly, because if I speak seriously, but I speak in gibberish, I already laughing in myself. Yeah, I go beyond the paradigm. So that's one very, very important my work. And that also connects with the very big concept called positive stress. Did you ever hear about positive stress or EuStress?
I haven't, and it's about time. I want to hear about positive stress because up till now I suffered from
So
negative.
yeah,
It was
so
in the page that you sent.
yeah, EuStress. If you Google about EuStress or positive stress, that's now the biggest thing. And especially after coronavirus time, people started to see how to work with stress and use it positively, because we also know about distress, negative stress. Now, what the clown does, the clown, I will ask you another question. What is the difference between an abused child like me, because I was very bullied child, everybody was laughing at me from, in the society, that's why in Jerusalem, in Shkunat Gilad at times, I was that Pinocchio. What is the difference between an abused child and a clown? Do you know? What is the difference between a child who has been bullied by the society, by parents, he was beaten, he was mocked like me, and a clown on stage? And or one who does that, huh?
Maybe the clown can laugh at it, and the child cannot.
Okay, can you be more sharp, a little bit more clear about it?
The clown can play with this, and the child is משותק, paralyzed because of this.
Yeah, and the child is the Pinocchio. He has the Pinocchio complex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
another.
child,
Yes, Hillary. Yeah.
the clown is offering themselves to the audience to be laughed at for the things that we probably laugh at that child. They laugh at the same child for, but we're saying, yeah, I'm opening myself up and letting you laugh at those foolish or idiot parts of myself that are.
You're very close. Yeah. So yeah, somebody else want to add?
Hillary, you meant that the clown is opening himself for abuse and the child doesn't choose it, it happens to him?
In a sense, but I don't call it abuse with the clown. I feel like, yeah.
Maybe I'd like to add to what Hillary said, that there's something in the clown that's very honest and exposed, and that I once heard something like in the Greek mythology, the Gibor, the main character, is starts from a high point and falls, and the clown starts from a low point. So the clown reminds the people in the audience of all of their humanity and their weaknesses, and by opening and allowing everyone to laugh at him or with him and laughing at himself, he allows the people watching to connect with their weak points and laugh at themselves, which is therapeutic.
Oh,
yes.
The clown community and connection through offering that part of themselves, and creates a embracing of it, whereas with the abused child,
but what is the difference? What is the main difference between a child? Now there is a child, he is mocked by the society, and there is a clown. There is one thing. Yes, Roman.
I think, and I was thinking, what the clown is controlling the situation.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
The kid's not asking for it.
He don't have the control of the situation. He actually don't have power. The clown do have power.
Yeah. So again, an abused child is an involuntary clown. Read my lips. An abused child is an involuntary clown, and the clown does it voluntarily. That's the difference. You can't stress. הילד המוכה הוא ליצן לא בבחירה, לא בצורה וולונטרית, זה נכפה עליו. Wim Hof אומר, you come to the stress or the stress is coming to you. זה הכל. You come to the disease or the disease is coming to you. You come to the stress, you come to the cold or the cold is coming to you. If we want to develop a resilience towards something, we must go voluntarily to the embarrassment, to the shame and the guilt. That's exactly what happens with the child. The child is left without his permission. That's why he feels embarrassed. That's why he feels inferior. But the clown, he's a voluntary abused child, and that's the power. So what is EuStress here? I put myself voluntarily to any place of discomfort and vulnerability, and I even exaggerate it. I sit there and I learn to pass through that. You know, when I sit in the icy cold water, in the first 80 seconds, it's Eretz Mitzrayim in Hebrew, it's Egypt, it's imprisonment, and after 80 seconds, it becomes a pleasure. So I pass through the stress, I breathe through it, and then I become free. I go into the freedom in the land of Canaan, land of surrender. And this is what happens with the gibberish. When I go on stage and I do gibberish exercises, as I do it slowly and I don't hurry up, because if I hurry up, I stuck. You know, you cannot get to any solution out of emergency, only out of emerge and see. So I take all the time I have and I enjoy this beautiful shtak shel senufuti shnak shemutik sikt. And then people tell me, but you speak Dutch. And I say, yeah, it's not Dutch. I don't plan what I do. I just go voluntarily into discomfort and I play out of that. And this is also the clown role, because the clown is the only archetype which really allows itself to go in pain, in boredom, in shame, in guilt, without being panicky. And now it's a time of depression and post-trauma. And so far people are in panic. That's the problem. The depression is not the problem. The panic out of fear, that's the problem. Okay? So if I go into this gibberish, which is all about discomfort, and I embrace it, I meet my seriousness, I respect and honor my seriousness. I become the owner, the captain of the boat, the victor, not the victim. This is something very important why we work with gibberish. It's not only to make people laugh and entertain them. I can do that also. Yes, it's good for team building workshop for companies. We do exercises, but really to learn how to sit next to the fire, לשבת ליד האש הבוערת ולא לכבות אותה. That's very, very important therapeutic thing, okay?
Pause. I'd like to ask just a quick round. Since the October 7th, I've done a few short little workshops on just releasing emotions that were hard to feel or got stuck in the body and didn't find a way to be expressed. So I'd like just to hear a little round from each of you. Which emotion you find most difficult to stay with, to like what Alex was saying, like going through the pain of sitting in cold water until you get to the point where you accept it and you feel okay or nice. I'd like just to do a little short round just to hear from each of you which emotion you feel is really difficult for you and you feel like you somehow skip to a different one or push it away or push it down. I can say for myself, it's rage is difficult for me. Rage, za'am, and the feeling of how do you say choser onim, when you just hopelessness when I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm
always looking for a solution to do something. That's a place that's really hard for me to stay.
And I can say that I want to say two. One is fear. And the fear is usually because of I can't control the thing because I am dependent on someone else.
Good one.
סוג של חוסר אונים. לא, האנגלית לא באה לי כל כך מהר.
It's okay. We're all translators here. Yeah.
Well, for me, it's well, I totally accept rage as one of them, but actually since the 7th of October, it wasn't that. I didn't feel rage at all. I felt lots of condescending on other people, and that was hard for me to feel as someone that is like holds the solution and like to be a know-it-all, but not really connect to emotion, because it's like a solution, but not really. So I felt a lot of that.
Can I ask, just for clarification, do you mean you being the one who is the know-it-all?
Yeah.
And
that was
looking down on
for me, because I felt like I'm running away, thinking that I know what's right and everyone else doesn't. Which I'm very sad to say I still feel that way.
Yeah. I understand, because that's very recognizable in my country, where there's a very good possibility of electing Trump again, and my feeling of what the fuck is wrong with the people in this country.
Yeah, I still up to this point think entering Gaza was a mistake, but we'll not go into that.
Yeah. My feeling though that which is pretty disconnected to October 7th, because I'm here. But in my life, the feeling of being overwhelmed is one that I don't like to sit in. I will put it away and know that everything is actually okay, and that I don't have to be overwhelmed instead of sitting in it.
You hear me?
Now we do.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I think for me, the most hard feeling for me is I disappoint people. If I feel I'm disappointing people, and yeah, I think there was one more, I forget it, and I think the most difficult feeling for me is the other people feeling. I need people to like me. If I afraid they don't like me, it's very difficult for me. Yeah.
It's so interesting that we each did a little gibberish, and then Alex, you spoke about what you're speaking about, and then you asked this question, Yolanda, because when I was doing my gibberish, I started out with the things that were overwhelming me.
So let's now go to do something, okay? Because we are now going too much into the brain. I want it a bit like this.
So just the second half of that is I started with what was overwhelming me, and then I said, but you know what, really, all in all, everything is fine. Everything's good. So I did exactly that.
You know, it's like it's another reminder for us to see that everybody must go and treat his personal family traumas, because when we do that, it ends into things like that. We have got to go into this, you know, pituitary gland, this pineal gland in the brain, and really cleanse it, yeah, and go and treat our traumas. And then, you know, we don't want to fight with anyone. That's my own observation. And that's why I'm doing Wim Hof method. I'm very committed practitioner, yeah, because I now I can teach what I teach because I heal myself. That's very important to say. And we need more people do that, because when you don't do that, then you do also bad things for yourself and for others. So yeah, I also felt rage when all this happened. I was on the way to France from India to give this training, and that is happened. Not easy, and to see that people, you know, they are not alive anymore, or people in your area, very difficult, and young people. Okay, I was talking before that on the importance of the joy of slowness.
Yes, wait, the joy of slowness. Some of us, because it's in English, you need to slow down.
I will slow down. And I was talking about the joy of slowness. It's a book by Coursera. And I was now saying how much it's important to stay within the discomfort, also with the gibberish, and add to it the seriousness part. So we don't need to run away to the laughter, just being happy, but inside not happy. I want to embrace, like a clown, also my sadness and my pain and my dissatisfaction and everything, and embarrassment and boredom. Because when we do it voluntarily, you remember, you come to the cold, or the cold is coming to you, or you come to the distress, or the distress is coming and swapping you and controlling you. But when we come voluntarily to discomfort, it becomes a pleasure. I assure you, 679.2. But after explaining that, I want to do an exercise of gibberish, because one of the other qualities of gibberish, and now we take this thing of making up a new language and we focus on emotions. When emotion is accompanied by a narrative and story, what we call in English chattering mind, or in Hebrew sechel mitrotzetz machshava she'en להאמין לה, מזיקה ומיותרת למערכת, and we believe in that machshava, in that thought, and the thought is accompanied with a certain emotion like violence or anger. It's blasting. We lose control. But if we remove the part of the chattering mind, the turbulent, of the inner, of the mental turmoil, and we only play with the emotion, then it's safe. And we have an exercise in the training where I will give different emotions to couples, like fear, excitement, childishness, boredom, clumsiness, and people will try to justify the emotions through the gibberish. But now I want to focus on something very, very important, because now many of us are angry with something, so, and disappointed, and yeah. There is an exercise where we speak very, very fast gibberish. We don't listen to the next person. Usually we don't listen, we just shut. If you want to shoot, we shut very, very fast gibberish. So the words are not important. What is important is the speed. And let's see if some hidden or pent up רגשות קבורים, engraved emotions are coming out on surface, coming involuntarily. Here they come involuntarily. So let's do just for 30 seconds, very, very fast gibberish. So as we do it fast, we connect more with the no mind, with the no thinking, with the meditation, with this place in the brain where the frequencies of gamma and delta and theta are active. That place we can engrave a new belief system, life affirming. 1, 2, 3, start. Everybody. לקחת נשימה, pull in, letting go slowly, and again pull in, hold the breath, and breathe out, fully out, pull in, open our eyes, and we can see that everything is cleansed, and maybe somebody of you felt anger, I don't know, coming out, catharsis. So we can playing with anger, playing with violence in a safe place. Nobody knows that there is a thing like that called non-destructive aggressiveness. אגרסיביות בלתי הרסנית, not destructive, destructive, aggressive. So I bring violence and I give it a full room, לתת מקום. I'm sure that some of you who felt anger here a little bit in this exercise, little bit, yes, that's good.
מה שאלת?
מי הרגיש איזשהו כעס או rage יוצא בזמן התרגיל, אבל לא שבאמת כעסנו באותו רגע, we didn't, but it came involuntarily, because gibberish disconnects the thinking, or the monkey brain, or the chattering, השכל המתרוצץ, המחשבה המתרוצצת, it disconnects the שכל מתרוצץ, the chattering brain, and the emotion, and the emotion is harmless if it's not accompanied by שכל, by thought. And this is something amazing where what gibberish does.
Yeah.
We have an improv amazing game. Maybe if somebody learned with Kit Johnston, so there is a great improv intervention on stage called the executor and the suspect. החוקר בתא המעצר והנחקר. Do you know this exercise? החוקר, the executor and the not executor, איך אומרים? לא, executor זה מוציא לפועל.
The inspector.
The inspector, yeah, the inspector. So, and there are these two people, and the interrogator, the interrogator using gibberish. Well, so he comes on stage with this, with his book, and he shows the suspect that he really committed that crime, and he tries to convince him to sign on the paper that he committed this crime, all done in gibberish. And he needs to play the status of this interrogator in the guard room. הוא חייב לשחק את התפקיד של החוקר בתא מעצר, הוא צריך להפליל את העצור, את הנאשם. זה התפקיד שלו, זה משהו, על זה הוא מקבל משכורת. He's paid for that. And then the suspect tries to come with different, answers. He tries to say, I'm not the criminal, I didn't make this crime. But the guy doesn't, he needs to get him signed that he committed it, all done in gibberish. And then if he cannot force him to sign, then he uses two invisible characters. One of them is called Igor. Igor is like a Russian thug, the guy who mobilized houses. Igor is a big, with masculine guy, and this Igor is invisible. And when he calls him Igor, so the suspect plays himself being beaten, and he falls. He needs to play, so he gives a full room. He plays himself beaten by someone. It's a big courage to allow yourself to play that you are valid voluntarily, because if you have this problem in your life now, you're making peace with it. So he plays beaten by ego, and then you are like this. But still the interrogator cannot let you, cannot force you. You still try to, to protect yourself. That's your role. But then comes Boris. Boris is stronger than Igor. And then he calls Boris. And it's like, Boris, and then, and the guy plays being beaten by Boris. Until he, sometimes he loses all his energy and then he signs. Sometimes also Boris is not enough. Then comes also Sergei. Sergei is even more stronger. What I want to say here, that we use the gibberish as a tool which allows people to play with the most tragical things. Maybe for the guy who plays the interrogator, for him in his life, it's very difficult to be assertive, very difficult to admonish people. זה מאוד קשה לו לנזוף באנשים ולכעוס, and now he is given a full room that he has the right to do that in this game. And the other guy, the suspect, it's also good for him because maybe he always beats others in the real life, and now he allows himself to go down in status and being beaten. Or maybe he has been beaten by his parents, but now he has been beaten voluntarily, and that's actually the healing. So now we can see how this work is so important for our healing. Again, you come to the stress, or the stress comes to you. That's positive stress. It means you voluntarily control, you expose yourself to the cold water 20 seconds and you sit there, okay? Or the hunger, you don't go immediately and put some bread in your mouth. That's laughter. What is laughter? צחוק in Hebrew, לצאת אל מחוץ לחוק. צאו מהחוק. Laughter is to go beyond the rules, the conformism, and go from Eretz Mitzrayim, the Egypt, the metaphorical Egypt, which is imprisonment, to the land of surrender, the Canaan. Now I want little bit to speak about humor drama, my therapeutic work, humor drama, paradoxical coaching. I already said some things. So humor drama is...
Are there any questions before you?
Yeah, do you have any questions, please, so far?
Or anybody wants to clarify if you didn't understand?
Clarify. Yeah.
Yeah, clarify, yeah.
Clarification.
I just wanted also to I remembered something about about the violence, that it was fun to see all of us screaming or letting out even if it started out to the fake anger and the violence and the gibberish all together at the same time. It was very freeing. The fact even that not everybody's watching me, that we're all doing it at the same time. At the same time, yeah. It's beautiful. That there's some playfulness and fun in it.
Yeah. And it's very authentic. We don't try. Why I left laughter yoga, because it was all about stimulated laughter. I saw people laughing, ha ha ha, but inside the depression was there. It was not given a full room. And for me, the clown is why the clown is happy, because he's not panicked by depression. He goes voluntarily into the depression. And what is the nature of emotions? מה הטבע של הרגשות? If somebody Goenka Vipassana one time, do you have any Roman? So Goenka was saying emotions come and they're passing away, coming and they're passing away. And if we will look on the word emotion, the E is exit. To exit from one motion to the other motion, it brings the emotion. זה תמיד בר חלוף, it's always impermanent. So if I don't panic, the emotion will be longer, or if I go there voluntarily, it will be shorter, I'm sorry. But if I fight it, it becomes longer. אם אני נלחם בדיכאון, זה כל החיים נמשך. Or if I try to numb it with marijuana, doesn't matter. But if I go voluntarily into that, it's the clownish work. About humor drama, so Michael Tietze is a psychotherapist from Slovenia, living in Tuttlingen in Germany. He was trained by Frankl in the 70s. Viktor Frankl was teaching logotherapy. Logotherapy is a science for finding meaning in life. But also, Frankel was using this amazing technique called paradoxical intention, הכוונה או כוונה פרדוקסלית. What it means, it actually means that if you have something you are afraid it's going to come to you, you have to imagine that it's already happening and you want it to happen to you even bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's like if somebody was coming to Frankel and tell him, I'm so afraid to speak in public because I have a sweating problem, אני מזיע. אני מרגיש, I'm afraid that people will see me with this odor and I feel embarrassed and that's why I cannot speak in front of people. And Frankel was telling him, okay, so I want you to go on stage, but you imagine already in your brain that you are going to show them that from the right armpit, you're going to spill 5 liters of water and 10 liters to the left one. But now you're in control. That's a clown work. Okay, that's the idea. And the same also with yeah, there are also other things I forgot, but that's the idea that you are going actually to imagine that the most tragic is going to happen to you, and a person was always had this fear, the fear of expecting a how it's called, not heart attack, stroke, brain stroke to happen. So Frankel told him, come on stage and tell them, today I'm going to have a stroke, and fall down. So you're going to act it out voluntarily, playfully, and then you become a friend of your enemy. And this is also the secret of all people who have managed to cure and heal their cancer. They said, my cancer is my friend. I'm going to Legadel to raise 1,000 tumors on my breast. Look at me. Not only 1,000. It's my body. My body created the cancer. It's my friend. People are totally made a befriending attitude with the enemy instead of fighting or numbing. So that's the paradoxical approach, because the conformist is numbing. It's fight or flight or freeze. That's the conformist. If I take a medicine, I numb usually the emotion, maybe also fight. If somebody smokes a marijuana, he numbs the emotion. But here I want to make it bigger, and when I make it bigger, I laugh. אני צוחק, יוצא אל מחוץ לחוק, יוצא אל מחוץ לגבול in Hebrew, צחוק. צחוק, the laughter in Hebrew means go out of the laws, of the regulations, of the what is right and what is wrong. I'm going beyond that, and that's beyond the intellect. So humor drama, we have also the relationship between a coach and the metupal, protagonist, consulted person. I don't like the word metupal or patient. You know why I don't like the word patient? Because patient keeps the people passive and patient, not proactive for life. So not patient, consulted. So usually in conventional therapy, we have the metapel, the psychiatrist or the psychologist or the doctor, and he's in very high status because he learned in university, 15 years. And we have the patient who is small and doesn't know anything. So we have the status game, the power, the מאבק על status, the struggle for power. In paradoxical therapy, in humor drama, we have the attitude of devil's advocate. Devil's advocate means that the therapist or the coach operates out of wisdom of fools. It means that he goes down to the patient's status and he goes inside his mental thinking and agrees with him on his problem. He doesn't give him a solution. That's why it's a clown. Yeah, because he's not above him. He comes down to his status in the beginning to develop a connection and then to take him out. He goes with him and he even justifies him. So for example, there is a very good story where somebody comes to Michael. I will tell something more, even more radical. So he was working in a psychiatric hospital, this Michael Tietze, And then one lady had a psychotic attack. And during her psychotic attack, the doctors tried to make her silent, to numb her, and out of this turmoil, his glasses broke up and were shattered. His glasses broke. So Michael used it as a clown and wanted to do something with her. So he told the staff in the hospital, please bring her to my cabinet, to my office. And then he told her, you know, now after what happened, I need to pack my bags and leave this hospital. I cannot work here anymore because you really made me, you ashamed me, you know, with your behavior. My glasses broke, and now all my fellows are laughing at me. This is the psychologist tells her, this Michael Tietze, who is the founder of Humor Drama. Now all the staff in the hospital are laughing behind me, behind my back, how you really abused me, that now my glasses broke up and everybody is laughing. I cannot work in this hospital anymore. I want to work here, but because of you, you have so much power. You see how you humiliated me. And then she looks at him and he tells her, please, I want to ask you a favor, because I really want to that the people will not think that I'm so proud. I want us together to beat on the table like this, because I want that the staff in the hospital will think that I'm beating you. I like giving replay you back. And she looked at him, and the doctor and this lady who had a psychotic attack started, and so he wanted them to think that he is beating her. This is what he told her. But for him and for her, it was like he went down to her status, they connected through play, and afterwards, the people could collaborate with her because she was given a full room. She was not anymore like a psychotic person, a patient, but the therapist itself became her devil's advocate. That's the idea of humor drama, that the therapist gives up his augustness, his arrogance as a therapist, and goes down and operates out of wisdom of fools first. It means do the opposite. Again, do the opposite than a conventional therapist would do, just the opposite. Agree with the person. If the person wants to commit a suicide, we say, okay, but maybe we wait another 1 month, I give you some assignment. And then you come, we drink a glass of whiskey together, and but we're already, you know, stretching the time. We never try to fix the patient. What we do in humor drama is very, very similar to that role. For example, sometimes I invite a person on stage on day 3, and there is some life story that the person believes it's true. It's a story associated with guilt, mindset of guilt. The person is always feeling guilty. So I ask him now, okay, tell your story about the guilt, blame everybody who should be blamed, blame yourself, but really go with your old thinking, old paradigm, your old belief system. But when you do that and you justify why you are carrying your guilt, I'm going to give you a clownish intervention. So on one hand, you are giving a full room to your story, but on the other hand, you create a distance of the tragedy. What can be a clownish intervention? It can be anything which disrupts your linear thinking. For example, I can give her a glass of water. She takes a sip. She keeps the water in the mouth and talks with the water in the mouth, but trying not to spill it and not to swallow it. היא מנסה לא לבלוע את המים ולא לשפוך, אבל לדבר על הסיפור הזה ולהצדיק אותו כשהיא מתרחקת מן הסיפור. So what happens? She becomes messy, she spits on the floor, her saliva goes down, and then this tragic thing becomes so laughable for her. And it gets another dimension that it's not so tragic. She ridicules it together with me. Then I give her another water, and she finishes when the story is over. So we have different interventions like water, like singing it in a high pitched tone, or like putting this thing, look with this different interventions. That's what happens in humor drama. So we take something very serious, we protect it. We are the devil's advocate, but then also we clown it. So we mix tragedy and clowning, over seriousness and clowning. And then the person feels released because it's the opposite of fighting. Again, with violence, people come and somebody comes on stage, he has the wish to revenge a person who abused him. It may be his ex-husband, ex-wife, a boss. He didn't revenge in the past. It's still there. So I tell her, okay, let's make a contract. Let's make a contract. I lower my voice. Let's make the contract. I'm not going to say no to psychiatrist. I'm not going to tell no to the prison, not to the social workers. It keeps here in this room. And I'm going even to check if there are some recording cameras or מכשירי האזנה. I really go and I look for that. And I say, okay, I assure you, you are not going to sit in the prison for that, but what would you like to, that person who really abused you, act it out. And then she plays with the violence. And she gives a full room onto that on stage. In a playful way. Yeah, with no talking. There is even no gibberish, it's only body work, body physical work. But coming out with the emotion fully exaggerated, and also enjoy your anger inside, enjoy your violence, because violence which is cut by the thought is a trained violence. It becomes like it cannot lose control, and it's not into the thinking, it's only into the intuitive brain, the right hemisphere. But I take the emotion out and then I become clean. That's why humor drama is a very short-term therapeutic coach. It's not a therapy, it's a coaching. Because in therapy, we deal with the past by talking about it. And in coaching, we go from present to future. But we give a full room. That's why I said that's a meeting of anarchist psychotherapy, why anarchists do the opposite than normal therapists would do, and clown work. Make it bigger. Exaggerate it. When you exaggerate it, you are in full control. You are the captain of your boat, you are the sailor in the boat. Do you have any questions? I just want to say we have one master class in Switzerland, 27 to 30 of June, and one master class in Bergamo, Italy on June, probably 15. Now questions.
I'd like to hear from the participants. Also, if you have a question, of course, to Alex, and what you feel like you can take from this meeting to your work, to your life. That's yeah. Go ahead.
It's really interesting because it makes so much sense to me, and it makes me think of some exercises that I have done in clown workshops and that I use in teaching, and it gives me a little more vocabulary and to continue doing that work and the importance of that work. I love playing with with emotions to a very exaggerated extent, and I really try to tell people it's not therapeutic. It's cathartic, and we're not doing therapy, and you're not using in what I'm doing, you're not using a real situation. You're just finding the joy of that emotion, whether it be what we think of as a positive or a negative emotion, and that to be able to reach that kind of emotion and play with it when it's not personal is just such a beautiful place to work as a clown. So this is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I also feel that taking any emotion to an extreme, and also what you said, Alex, about that it creates a distance. Like if someone, for instance, is saying horrible things that they wouldn't normally want other humans to hear them say, but with water in their mouth, I can tell an entire audience or a circle of people about something that I've carried around for years with shame, and I can just tell the entire story, but with water in my mouth and knowing that they won't understand a single word, or with gibberish.
Right.
And I love that that's true what you said, that it's about Hillary, that it's not that we're doing therapy, because then you don't have to take responsibility, because it can go in any direction with different people you don't know. It's just the catharsis effect.
Yeah. And what you said, Alex, this line, when you exaggerate, you are in full control.
Yeah.
So
because you do it voluntarily, or the captain.
Yeah. I mean, if you take my direction and you decide to go someplace very personal that's going to be dangerous for you, that is your decision. But I'm offering you the choice to not go there, that this is not the place for that.
Yeah, I want to add something on that, because I teach humor, drama, and paradoxical coaching, which is interventional. You go personally to the discomfort. However, there are many other methods, and I also do them as a practitioner, which are bypassing. You can treat a trauma. It means treating by making a neurogenesis and new rewiring in the neurons, which have been affected by trauma physically in the brain, through different methods. Like when you go to the icy water, when you do the breathings, some people do mushrooms, you can treat the trauma also without acting it out. And that's the beautiful. There is one interventional method, like I'm doing humor, drama, and also there are non-interventional methods, which are amazing. You are still in full control, but you don't really need to touch and bring your trauma on stage, or things like that.
Yeah.
And as I said, icy water, Wim Hof method has been scientifically proved for that. Breathings. Now there is a big studies on psilocybin on trauma, because it does the neurogenesis in the brain. It works. But I agree with you. Not everything should be interventional. Here is the choice of a person. Both will. But for life, always go voluntary. It's healthy to see where is your discomfort, and now a little bit. How to say, לחזק את השריר, boost up the muscle there, build up the resilience, build up the immunity. It's always good. Build up a little bit the immunity. Yeah. If it's cold and you go every day with the short sleeves, there is a likely less chance that you will get a cold and have a flu, because you become stronger with the immune system. Wow, that's life. But if you always protect, you become small.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the problem with our young people these days, is they're protected from so much that they become so fragile, and they don't build up the ability to hear things they don't like.
Yeah.
So that kid, Roman, make sure he's challenged by things they don't like, problems.
Yeah.
It's
terrible.
It's very interesting. I feel this entire subject of building that you have to go through really rough places to get stronger, to build resilience.
But gradually, not for first you go for 20 seconds and then 30. You build up the muscle gradually.
Yeah.
Not in one go.
Yeah. So we have a few more. We have a few more minutes to go, so I'd love to hear from also.
Yeah, if somebody else wishes to comment or to give.
Yeah, I love it. It was very interesting for me. I found like a very good theoretical framework for what I do as a clown, as a person. So it make order it makes sense. Yes. And I basically take most of the things I hear here today. Also, I like for a while already want to come back to practice Wim Hof. I was practicing it like 2 years ago and stop, maybe now come back. And some other interest practice. So, yeah, a lot of information to digest.
Yes. Good. Yeah.
Roman,
and I remember I've been in workshop with you. You're right.
Yes. This is what I say. It was many years ago, maybe 2006. So
I remember now. It was I think something with laughter and
yoga smecha, laughter. What?
Tarot.
With Yoav Ben Dov, Tarot and Gibberish.
Yes.
Gibberish and Tarot with Yoav.
Yes. Gibberish and Tarot. Yes, it was Gibberish and Tarot.
Yes, Sadnat Chokhmat HaShoteh, the wisdom of fools.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
Jan want to tell us something?
Скажи мне, делаем клоунаду здесь.
Не знаю, я им сказал. Okay.
All right, namaste. Okay.
Yeah. Paz?
Paz, you want to add something? אפשר בעברית.
לא הבנתי, לא יודעת, אולי אני אשאל את פילרן אחר כך, את כל החלק האחרון. משהו אם לא להתקשר לזה רגשית, לא הבנתי. מה, אם אתה יכול להגיד את זה בשני משפטים. הבנתי מה אמרת על ילד מוכה וליצן, על הג'יבריש, על לקחת רגשות לקיצון, אבל על השאלה האחרונה שענית עם ה...
על מה?
שאלתי אותך.
על המקום של המטפל מול המטופל? זה לא הבנת?
שהוא בא לדרגה שלו, שהוא יורד לדרגה שלו, שהוא עובד במטופל רגיל?
אמרתי שהרעיון בהומור דרמה ובאימון הפרדוקסלי זה עשה ההפך ממה שמטפל קונבנציונלי היה עושה. מטפל קונבנציונלי מדבר מלמעלה, מסטטוס גבוה ונותן פתרונות ועצות. מטפל לא קונבנציונלי נכנס לנעליים של המיועץ ופועל מתוך חוכמת השוטים, מתוך העולם המשוגע של המיועץ. הוא מסכים איתו. ברגע שמטפל מסכים עם המטופל, המטופל כבר אין קונפליקט עם המטפל, והוא מסכים לטיפול, לאימון. עזבי את המילה טיפול. אני רוצה לתת לך דוגמה רגע, פז, אולי תביני את זה. עוד 2 דקות, יולנה. היה עובד סוציאלי קליני פרנק פרלי, I will tell in English, in Hebrew, do you translate to English בשבילך? היה מטפל, פרנק פרלי היה עובד סוציאלי קליני, הוא עבד בוויסקונסין, במדיסין, והוא קיבל סכיזופרן 89 פעמים, והם ניסו כל מיני שיטות, הטיפול לא הצליח, והמטופל אמר למטפל, תשמע, אני מפחד שאני אשאר בבית חולים הפסיכיאטרי כל החיים שלי. אז באיזשהו שלב פרנק התחיל להאמין שהוא צודק. אז בפגישה ה-90 הוא בא ואמר הוא אמר למטופל, finally I agree with you, את שמה לב, סוף סוף אני מסכים איתך. Finally I agree with you, there is no solution to your problem. הוא הסכים, ואז המטופל אמר, but it must be something should be done, it must be some solution. הוא מעביר לו את האחריות. אז פרנק אומר לו, but I have not found anything, and this is our last conversation. הוא אומר לו, אני לא מסכים לקבל אותך יותר. ואחרי 3 שנים, בינתיים פרנק התחיל, הוא הבין שהוא עלה פה לאיזה טריק, זה להסכים עם הבן אדם, ולהעביר לו את האחריות לריפוי. הוא הבין והוא פיתח את זה, אחרי 3 שנים הוא ואשתו נכנסים למסעדה מאוד רעבים, מגיע מנהל המסעדה, בעל המסעדה, זה היה המטופל. והוא אמר לו, פרנק, תאכל הכל על חשבוני אחרי כל מה שעשית. אז הוא אמר, and done should be after everything I have done for you. כלומר, מה שאני רוצה לומר זה שברגע שהמאמן מסכים עם המאומן שלו, והוא כבר לא נותן לו עצות, הוא מעביר לו את האחריות. הוא לא נותן פתרון, ואז הוא מוצא את כוחות החיים לעשות את הריפוי. ועל זה מתבססת הפרובוקטיב, תרפיה פרובוקטיבית שנשארה לגמרי בפרינג'. I was talking now about provocative therapy by Frank Farrelly. Check it out.
Provocative.
It's based on wisdom of fools, but provocative therapy was not. It was a clowning through talking.
Yeah.
But nobody was acting out on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that.
What's really interesting is there's all this theoretical, all these different kinds of therapy that you're telling us about, and it's interesting that I find that intuitively clowns go into these different methods in different states. Like when we're playing with children, then we lower our status and we say
lower
yes
our
to
status, and it's so therapeutic.
Yeah, or
we don't get old also. We keep our aliveness. זה מאוד חשוב.
Yeah.
It's very important to go lower status, lower.
Yeah. The provocative therapy is whom?
Is Frank Farrelly. So it's very on the fringe of all these alternative things in mental health. Very, very radical left-wing therapy. Because the guy was really like sometimes smoking on he was very like cynical in a way. If you listen to Frank Farrelly's how to say these dialogues with his consulted people, only he could do that, but he was like brilliant, a brilliant guy, very into it. He was always agreeing and justifying with the patients on their problem and telling them, if I were you, I was doing the same like you. Yeah. What's wrong with what you are saying? I agree with that. So they transfer the responsibility towards them, and they accept themselves unconditionally, because self-acceptance should be unconditionally. Also, if you are still making mistakes.
What's beautiful about that is that it cancels out the therapist being, like you said, at a higher status or condescending. מתנשא. המטפל לא מתנשא.
But because he goes low, he's very, very strong. Yeah. It's like I was thinking about somebody who used to be a medical doctor or professor, and then he goes and works in the cafe. He goes to, he doesn't stick to the status, but he plays with all statuses.
Yeah.
And lowers his augustness. Is very, 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 very important and very valuable. And that's the clown also.
Yeah, the yes and. It's funny that in therapy it works just as well as in good improv that you say.
Yes, and it's exactly this, because because you say yes to anything, so you contradict your old belief system. Instead of saying no but or yes but, you say just yes without thinking, just doing it, and then if it's boring, you change.
That's something that I'd like to practice.
It's very difficult to practice in life.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
why, when I have a meeting with a person, I don't try to calculate if I will get something out of that, but only for the חיבור, for the connection. הזרימה מתקיימת בין החיבורים. The flow is the enabler for the connections. So let's see what happens. Maybe something will be yielded, maybe not. That's not important. But it's important to say yes to any. Now I say yes to any offer coming to me, and before I was saying we usually no. But it didn't prove. It's very interesting, this yes and approach in improv. It's very, very paradoxical.
It's a good practice for Israelis especially to say yes.
Very, very,
so I would like because
say with the heart, from the heart.
From the heart.
Yeah. I love this approach. Yes.
I would like each of us to say some final words. Like we have about a minute or two left. Just whatever you want to say to Alex or to everybody, but in gibberish. Who would like to go?
אוף. והפך שתהיי בעברית. תודה.
תודה.
מאוד נהניתי מהראייה הכל כך בהירה שלך, בכל הנקודות ממש נהניתי.
תודה רבה, אוקיי.
Mitwa, fantastista de Alechko, de Samrutas, de bellissima stupidità and de therapeutic, de aggressiva, de focoro, de de practice,
Jeder Vorteil stark steht, das nicht kostet.
Grazie. Hilary Rasul.
Farnt je moinde beforders de verschandera. I match je dunde va for la dorcantiano.
Ushun mort cefales ore terafuchen oregado da dam oregado des mar per on la fara is all mar kan ara ore mem ole esla ole perfetto.
Ja.
Secco fuori sta c'è in di si sporo fuori sta c'è vede se fantastico per fare vedere lo section avere territorio era fuori stock se vedo fuori te fa absurdistan e du gute foxy jeder toto stem je für sich doch so international Theater Clownish in der Produktion von jeder fuori sta c'è vede sta foto se abundance jeder fuori sta c'è besser abundance
Ja, abundance, ja.
Als heiliges Heilige.
Ja, richtig.
Muss ja heiliges Heilige.
Jeder will sich schneiden würde zusammen.
Eigentlich ist alles.
Ja.
Lik se forse fare che serve de clown e dopo lo forte che sta la buffon de fait de potere. De forse la wisdom of fools.
So you're all invited at any time to connect with each other.
Yeah, please do.
You have Alex's
WhatsApp number there on the group. Yeah.
So
thank you. And thank you. I'm waiting for the next meeting.
Yes. We will meet again in 2 weeks.
Really, I want also to say thank you for Yolana. Like really like.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good initiative. Very healthy and good. Thank you, Yolana.
Yay.
It's great. I really need it. Like
I do too. I'm very glad for this little regular group and invite more friends. But it's fun. It's fun also in a small group. I learn a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So hoping that we can all take tiny little steps towards staying further in our difficult places and building some resilience.
And, I'd like to take a moment.
Hi, Ola. So nice to see you. I had the privilege to eavesdrop. So thank you for that. That meant a lot.
Love you.
Love you, Monte.
I could hear and feel her doing her gibberish at the same time as we were. This is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Beyond learning a lot, it's so much fun to gibberish. I feel like I want to do so much more and hear so many other each person's gibberish was so enjoyable, even if it's just the beginning of it. There's so much to find there. Great. תודה רבה.
תודה רבה. תודה יולנה. נתראה בטוב. לילה שטוב שפוש שתקסן ולפרסה.
I totally agree.
The first if it excited.
Yeah, yes.
Eto pudico forte.
Yeah, exactly.
Ciao Semerosa.
Saremosa.
May the force be with us and with us. Amen.
Amen.
There we go.
Bye.
לילה טוב.
לילה אור, ביי ביי.
לילה טוב.